6:30 by Apple time. We're calling to order the meeting for the Harwich Planning Board for August 22nd. And tonight we're recording and taping, so as required by law, and any person that's intending to video or record the open session is required to inform us. Having said that, the first item on the agenda is a hearing. PB 2017-20, Karen Jennings Flynn, manager of Golden Years, Deerfield Road, LLC as owner, and Ellen Mesquita, did I say that right? DBA Allen's Landscaping as applicant, care of Rick Hamlin as representative, seeking approval of a site plan review special permit with waivers relative to driveway access and parking for new construction. The property is located at 6 Deerfield Road, map 55, parcel T18 in the IL zoning district. The application is pursuant to the code of the town of Harwich, section 325-55, and 18P is set forth in Mass General Law 40A, section 9. If you could identify yourself, we can get right to it. Oh, an eclipse. Nope.
I think that was yesterday. Good evening, I'm Rick Hamlin, EG Management Services, representing Alan Mesquita, doing business as Allen's Landscaping. Alan is here in the audience. He has a purchase and sales agreement to purchase Lot 8, 6 Deerfield Road, contingent upon site plan approval, septic approval, and building permit. We're here tonight for the site plan review. Septic plans have already been approved and will apply for the building permit if the planning board approves this evening. The application's for a 2,700 square foot commercial building with an office area on Deerfield Road. The purchase, as I already said, the purchase and sales agreement actually called for a 3,300 square foot building, and we simply could not fit it on the site. And in that, it was the frontage is on Depot Street. I'll get to that in a second. But we couldn't use that frontage because we couldn't meet the 30% open space requirement. So we eliminated that, which worked out to be good because the Harwich Police Department and the Fire Department approved that. They probably had concerns with access coming off Depot Street. One of the problems with this subdivision is all of the lots on Deerfield Road have under 100 linear feet of frontage. And you're gonna, as more lots come in front of your board, you're gonna find that it's gonna be an issue unless you make accommodations for that. Some of them are as small as 69 linear feet, while the frontage on Depot Street or Great Western Road is over 100 feet. But certainly we all know that intersection, and it's somewhat a lot of traffic. So the project's in the IL zone, meets front, rear, and side setbacks. Let's see, I already talked about that. So we have a couple of waivers that we need. One is the frontage access, which I just referred to. The bylaws require your frontage to be where your legal frontage is, which is on Depot Street. I've already explained that it was not in the Harwich Fire Department, the Police Department weren't in favor of that. So we moved it over to the Depot Street side, and in your report you will see that the planner has gotten the language in there for you folks to approve. The planning board may waive that requirement if the Deerfield Road entry does not cause any detriment, and it does not. It's actually better. The second waiver we can meet, we had asked for a waiver in the driveway access. You require 24 feet. Parking space number 16 has a maximum distance of 22.1 feet from the edge of the space to the building. We would have used that as a last resort. The engineering department recommended that parking spaces 15 and 16 be reduced to 17.5 feet. We'll do that, change that, and make notation on the plan. There were a couple of other notes, apparently by the engineering department. He picked up that the septic design, the language on the plan read as built as opposed to proposed. So no, it's not installed, and we'll make that correction. Planning department has asked that we provide arrows at the entrance and exit on Deerfield Road. We will do that. And then there was a reference to a variance, and we'll delete that from the plan. So I'll open it up to questions to you folks and respectfully request after review that you approve the plan.
Who's the applicant?
Well, that's a good question. Ally probably has it on the application. I believe it's Alan Mosqueda as the purchaser, contingent upon the approval. And the owner is what you have there on your front page.
Karen Jennings Flynn.
Karen Jennings Flynn, who's the manager for Golden Years Deerfield Road LLC. So yes, right here in it is Alan Mosqueda as the applicant.
Is he here?
He is here. He's in.
Can he come up so we can see who he is?
Sit right down and relax. There's no
All
fire
right.
brought up here.
And am I correct? Aren't you a title holder of property in this town?
Are you
No,
own
not you.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You own a bunch of property and have been before us.
Oh, many times.
I thought I had the right guy. I just wanted to make sure.
It's one of my favorite places to.
So your new role is representing him?
I'll be back for myself in the
Okay,
future.
I understand.
Yeah, but Alan
what you
has
want.
asked me to represent
Okay.
him.
Thank you. Just want to
Okay.
know who the players are.
Yeah.
So Ally, tell us.
Okay. So, Mr. Hamlin really went through a lot of my comments, but I'll just kind of reiterate some of them. So the engineering department, I'm on page 2 of your staff report. The drainage design complies with all applicable local and state requirements, so he was fine with that. As the agent mentioned, on the plan, the septic said proposed, or as built, and it really is proposed, which they've agreed to change, and that one of my recommendations is that that be a condition. The town land surveyor also recognized that access is not being taken over the legal frontage. So the legal frontage is technically Depot Road, because it's 100 feet is the requirement. However, I went out there too, I drove it, it really is unsafe to go on, in my opinion, to go on to Depot Road. It's much better to go through Deerfield, and that's what the police and also the surveyor had shown. They agreed with that recommendation as well. So just continuing on, the fire department had no concerns. They said it was great to see building activity there. So in the planning staff comments of the staff report, the applicant had requested some waivers from the zoning bylaws. And technically, under our code, you're not allowed to have waivers from zoning bylaws, only from the subdivision section, the rules and regulations. But, so it's my recommendation with the frontage portion, because it was pointed out by the surveyor and also the police department that it's better to have access coming from Deerfield than Depot Street. The planning board technically, under the code, has to issue an alternate access special permit because you're not coming off of your legal frontage. And please, if you have questions, ask me and I can explain it in more detail. But, so my recommendation is, because it says it in the bylaws that it's required that the planning board issue a special permit for alternate access, the planning board does issue a special permit for alternate access, but we don't charge the applicant the $525 fee because it is recommended by the police department, the surveyor, and I did go out there, and it's not a great turn to have access on Depot, from Depot. So that's my recommendation for that one. So the recommendation is to grant alternate access, the special permit, however, don't charge the fee because it is a safety issue.
Okay, just out of curiosity, before we get into the question, how long ago did we approve the subdivision? This is back
I have it here.
a long time ago?
In 1989.
Oh, then we're all innocent.
You are innocent, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, David?
Just a very minor point. On the July 11th letter, it refers to Depot Street. On the location map, it says Depot Street. On the plan, it says Depot Road. I think we ought to fix that.
Yeah, we'd be happy to do that. If the plan actually says Depot Road, consider it done.
It does, yeah.
Okay. Joe?
Elliot,
Yep.
I'm back to begin at the beginning.
Sure.
Do we issue the decision to the applicant or to the owner?
To the owner, because they are the legal owner.
That's what I
at this
thought.
moment.
So, I don't think that affects Mr. Mosquito thereafter. I mean, if I own a piece of land and I come before this board and I get a decision from this board, and thereafter I want to sell the piece of land,
Right,
the decision goes with it.
correct, yep, it
Okay,
will stay
all
with
right.
the land.
So we can issue it to Karen Jennings Flynn, manager for Golden Years Deerfield Road LLC. And thereafter, whatever she does, assuming she's got an agreement with this gentleman, but whether she does or doesn't, not our concern.
You can
Right.
sell it in the hallway.
Yes, yeah, okay. I just want to make sure we had that right.
Okay. Mary?
I just have a question or a clarification. If we are actually doing 2 special permits, are we okay without having advertised an alternate access special permit?
So I think, and I'm not an attorney, obviously, but I think that this has just come up, and we're reacting to it. So but it's up to the planning board what they want.
I think we're reacting in real time.
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
too.
I agree with that, too.
Asking.
Makes sense, though.
You're on the spot tonight.
I know.
I understand, according to your recommendation, that we waive the 525. So they pay no fee?
So no, they have paid the fee for the actual site plan application.
How much was that?
Special permit. I think I have it here. Was it 1,003? Yeah,
1367.22.
Yeah.
Check number 1, Keith.
Don't forget the 22 cents.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
That's your
so we
salary.
have been paid for for a portion of the application. It's just because of the safety issue of granting access on his legal frontage. It's my
And we're doing it.
what?
We're doing it. He didn't
It's our
ask us to do it. It's our decision. Yeah.
Well,
That's correct.
Can I just clarify where on Deerfield? I'm assuming it is on the north side of Deerfield, right behind Cloutier, where Cloutier Supply is?
South side.
So south of
So it's
Cloutier,
on the-
but north, but the north
Cloutier's-
side of Deerfield.
Cloutier's back of the building of Cloutier's, it's the lot to the back, to the
Right,
rear.
but Deerfield runs from Depot, that side of Depot,
Right.
to Great Western.
That's right.
So it would be the north side of Deerfield,
Correct.
right behind the Cloutier Tile Building.
Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
Mary, have it up there for you. It's kind of hard to see. I'll get a pointer.
The depot entrance would be, street entrance would be somewhat opposite Ferguson Waterworks.
Understood, that's where I thought it was,
But
yeah.
it's a little bit, it's just sort of diagonal.
So this is the property that we're looking at right
Gotcha.
here.
I know.
All of that.
Not all of it. It's like this. It's right next to the building.
Yep.
And then this is Depot here.
Yeah, and
And
that's
Deerfield
Deerfield and
wraps
circles around,
around.
right?
Yep. If I can, yeah, wraps around like
Yep.
this. So instead of coming off here, and it also, from going on site, it does look like there's a berm. Is that correct?
Yes.
In this area here. So that's also another kind of hazard to get.
It is pretty built up.
Mr. Chairman, I can't help but smile when they talk about the lumberyard there. What's the name of it?
Stonewood?
Stonewood's a little,
Yeah,
More south.
further down.
yeah,
Stonewood buys a piece of property from the town of Harwich for whatever he paid. Pretty good price, as I recall.
I believe
100
7 figures.
Yes. And then there were people on this board who weren't gonna let him build on it. Fortunately, we had enough votes, but There were folks who said, oh, yeah, that's nice he bought the land, but he can't, where he has his new stuff out on the main, in the main drag there. Life goes on. Maybe I'm getting too old.
Turn the page to findings. Are there any more?
Okay.
Oh, I just had one more thing as well. So the other request for a waiver was for the driveway access to the rear. The requirement is 24 feet, and on the plan it shows a distance of 22.1 linear feet, and I can point it out on the plan so everyone kind of sees what I'm talking about.
Where is that 23
Yeah,
inches?
I'll show you. Okay,
It's at the
so
other end.
this is the building here, and this is parking lot, or parking space 16. Right here, the distance between the edge of this parking space and the building, it's proposed to be 22.1, and the requirement is 24. So I spoke with the engineering department because, again, we can't grant waivers on something in the bylaw. So I spoke with the engineering department to see if there was something else that we could do here, and they had recommended using reducing the length of the parking space, because it's allowed in our bylaw. We have that.
Width.
Hold on.
9 feet.
Yeah, let me just make sure. Hold on.
Instead of 9, it would be like 7.
So it would be, so
Compact
instead
cars.
of 20, which is the requirement, we would reduce it to 19, or 17.5. So instead of 9 by 20, it would be 9 by 17.5. So this will allow it.
But more importantly, it's contained totally within his property.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is for compact cars rather than
Correct,
pickup.
yeah. Because you said that this would be kind of the last resort.
Right.
Is
And
that
it meets the
correct?
24 feet that's
Right.
required in the bylaw, so we're
Right.
certainly happy to make that change.
Does he have any thoughts as to what he's gonna build there, or what he's gonna use there, or what's it gonna be?
He's gonna move, Alan's actually a tenant of mine on Queen Anne Road, and he's gonna move his operation there and
Which is,
Landscaping?
landscaping.
what's the name of your company?
Allen's Landscaping.
Sounds good to me.
Pretty simple.
I make a motion, we need to close.
Are there any questions from anybody else in the audience? That being the case, do I hear a motion to close debate?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. McFarland and second by Mr. Peterson to close debate. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let the record reflect that's unanimous from everybody sitting here.
Move to adopt the following proposed findings. One, the alternative access proposed from Deerfield Road. Deerfield Road is superior to Depot Road, as Depot Road's frontage has steep topography and safety issues regarding access have been raised by the Police Department and Engineering Department. Two, alternative access is required due to safety issues noted by the Police and Engineering Department, and as such, the required fee in the amount of $525 for the special permit is waived. Three, the access as proposed meets the minimum standards of the zoning code. Four, the plan provides for efficient and safe disposal of surface water. Five, the use is consistent with the zoning code and will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Six, there will be no nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Let the record reflect that is unanimous by everybody here, which is required because we're a little short of members, so you're all set there.
Larry, who seconded the motion?
Mary did.
No, I didn't.
No,
I'll second.
Alan did.
Ellen did.
Okay,
Mr. McFarland moved and Mr. Peterson seconded.
thank you.
Everybody voted in favor. It was unanimous. Okay,
Move for special permit. Move to approve the special permit requested alternate access for the proposed application located on 6 Deerfield Road, based on the fact that the application meets the necessary requirements and criteria for approval pursuant to the Code of the Town of Harwich with the above findings.
it's been moved
Second.
and seconded by Mr. Harris. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimous. Moving on.
To move to approve with conditions the site plan special permit requested for the proposed development of the property at 6 Deerfield Road, based on the fact that the application meets the necessary requirements and criteria for approval pursuant to the code of the town of Harwich with the above findings and following conditions. 1, a revised site plan is required to be submitted for review and approved by the planning department with the following revisions. A, reduce the size of parking spaces labeled 15 and 16 from 9 feet by 20 feet to 9 feet by 17.5 feet. This will create an increase in the width of the driveway access in the rear of the site from the proposed 22.1 feet to 24 feet as required by the bylaw. B, remove the plan notation that states variances is required for lot frontage. C, add traffic circulation arrows. D, change the notation on the plan from as-built profile to proposed profile.
And E, change Depot Street to Depot Road.
Other way around, Depot Road to
Depot Road
Depot
to Depot
Street.
Street. Thank you.
Depot Road's the other side of town.
And number 2, any changes to the site plan shall be subject to further planning board review.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Again, that is unanimous. There's no negative votes. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Out the hallway. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the, let me find it. TB 2017-21, Brian Stevens, owner, J. Harwich Architect, as representative, seek approval of a use special permit for detached accessory apartment via demolition of the existing shed. The proposal seeks to construct a single-story, one-bedroom residential unit. The property is located at 12 Old Homestead Way, map 12, parcel A4-10 in the RR and WR zoning district. The application is pursuant to the code of the town of Harwich, section 325-51H, and Article 5 is set forth in Mass General Law 40A, section 9.
Okay, I'm Jay Horowitz. I am helping out with the design work for the project at 12 Old Homestead Way, and also helping out with this application process to you people.
How about this lady?
Next to me is,
Brian Stevens is my father. He can't make it today because
Yeah.
he has some health issues, so yeah, I'm just
this is
here.
Ashley Stevens, who lives year-round on the property. The property, and her father, Brian Stevens, could not be here because of illness, and he's the owner of record as of the moment. What's on the property now is a 3-bedroom dwelling unit, a garage that's kind of falling apart, and a shed that's kind of falling apart. The project consists of a garage and a accessory dwelling unit, which is the reason we're here tonight. The dwelling unit will be, Ashley now resides with her husband, Joe, who is here tonight, and her father, Brian Stevens. The dwelling unit, the accessory dwelling unit, would be for Brian Stevens to live in. He will be living there year-round. And it's
In the
600
accessory unit.
accessory unit.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you.
600 square feet. And it has cooking facilities and, full bath facilities. It'll have a crawl space foundation.
Okay. Ellen?
Okay, so there's just some comments from other boards and committees, so I'm on page 2 of your staff report. After review, the Conservation Department stated that the existing garage is approximately 119 feet from a wetland. A work limit should be set up to ensure work and staging of materials does not occur within the 100-foot buffer to the wetland. The Health Department, they reviewed the application and said the existing septic system is adequate for the proposed renovation of an existing barn into a 1-bedroom accessory building with the proposed renovation of an existing, with an addition of a septic tank. A building permit is required to remove the wall between two basement rooms in the main house, and a septic permit is required to install the additional tank to serve the new dwelling. So there's just some requirements that you'll have to go through with the health department, and they wanted to point that out. The rest, the police department and fire department had no concerns, did the building department. So under planning staff comments, all administrative and filing requirements have been met, and we recommend approval with the waivers requested. And the waivers requested were just, they're seeking waivers for modifications from commercial and residential requirements of the rules and regulations. And those are just, normal things that don't apply to the accessory structure. Those are more for commercial applications.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Looks like you did a very good job. Any questions from the general public? Hearing no questions? Mr. McFarland, do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. McFarland, seconded by Mr. Peterson to close the public hearing. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It is approved unanimously.
Move to adopt the following findings of fact, that the parcel is in the R-R and W-R zoning district. 2, the apartment unit is not greater than 900 square feet, being 600 plus or minus square feet. 3, is the owner's intent to occupy both units with the apartment serving as the primary residence for a parent. 4, minimum requirements have been met for setbacks, area, and bulk. 5, the driveway will provide sufficient off-street parking which meets the minimum requirements. The application is submitted, does not adversely affect local traffic or create traffic hazards. 325-51.H2 of the bylaw.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. McFarland and seconded by Mr. Harris. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion? Any discussion from the general public? No. Do I hear a motion to approve?
No.
Oh.
We have to vote the last thing.
Oh, yeah,
Findings of fact.
Findings of fact.
both the findings of fact, sorry.
Was moved and
Been
seconded.
moved and seconded.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously.
Motion to approve with conditions the use special permit and waivers pursuant to 400-6 waiver of rules and regulations requested for the detached accessory apartment based on the fact that the application meets the necessary requirements and criteria for approval pursuant to the Code of the Town of Harwich with the above findings and following conditions. 1, remove the wall between two existing basement rooms in the main house. A building permit must be submitted to the building department for review and approval. 2, install an additional septic tank to serve the new dwelling. A septic permit must be submitted to the health department for review and approval. 3, prior to the start of construction, a work limit must be set up to ensure work and staging of materials does not occur within the 100 feet buffer to the wetland. 4, the owner shall maintain occupancy in one of the units as required by town code. 5, the special permit decision shall be recorded at the Registry of Deeds. 6, any changes to the plan shall be submitted, shall be subject to the further planning board review.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. It's carried unanimously. 5-0.
Mr. Chairman, now that we've voted, to me, and I know we're gonna take this up,
Yes.
this board is, very shortly, this is what accessory apartments are all about, as far as I'm concerned.
It is.
As opposed to so many that we've had. Nothing to do with you folks, but, I mean, to me, we've had a lot of controversy about accessory apartments. And this is exactly, your father's obvious condition requires that he needs this space and so forth and so on. To me, that's what it's about, as opposed to somebody putting together an accessory so they can create some income. I mean, I wish everybody well, but we're not in the business of creating income.
So we're looking, at some of the members on this board, we're looking to see the type of apartment we're going to be living in. Thank you very much. And
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, we appreciate
Good
it.
luck.
Who
Hope
gets
your
these?
dad's feeling better.
Thank you.
Oh, I do.
Ally. The next item on the agenda, come right up, Mark, is an approval not required subdivision, PB 2017-12, Hybrid Built Homes LLC and owner Mark Garuso.
That's correct, yep.
Manager seek approval of a three-lot division being a reconfiguration of lot 6A and 7 as set forth in Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 81K through GG, and more specifically, Section 81P, and A&R approval not required. The parcel is identified as 11 and 13 Littlefield Pond Road, map 65, parcel W3, as shown as a plan of land prepared for Hybrid Built Homes LLC, prepared by Dan Ohala, PLSPE, dated August 4, 2017. The parcel lies in the RR zoning district. Go right ahead.
I'm Craig Fry with Down Cape Engineering. With me is Mark Giruso. We're redividing the lots for conveyance purposes. We've filled out, all of the necessary notes on parcel 7B and 6B, saying that these are not buildable lots. 6B being that it is a panhandle, needs special planning board approval. So we've put the note on there that it's not currently a buildable lot. I think that's pretty much it.
I don't want to interrupt you. It's not a buildable lot because of frontage problems?
Because it needs to be approved as a panhandle lot,
Because of.
as currently, yeah.
So just to clarify that, technically when you do an approval not required, in our code, you can't do panhandle lots, unfortunately. So if they were to do a panhandle lot, they'd have to come in for a definitive subdivision, so go through the regular subdivision process. They couldn't do it as an A&R. So that's why it's stated that way.
Someday somebody will explain to me why we vote to approve, approval not required.
I'm not going to touch that one, 'cause I can't. Ally, go right ahead.
Okay, so I'll just go through the comments received from other departments. Engineering and surveying reviewed this, they had no comments, the A&R looked okay to them. Conservation had no comments. Health stated that the parcel is in the water recharge area and is subject to regulation 1.21 if developed with greater than 200 GPD. No Board of Health variances will be granted. So I asked what that meant because I didn't know. And basically, just if you're going to develop it anymore, you have to go to the Board of Health for review, so. And then, other than that, the parcel meets all the criteria for endorsement of an A&R, so that's my recommendation to the board.
Any questions from the board?
Not me, thank you.
No questions from the board, that's simple. I only have one question. Hybrid built, are they pre-manufactured?
It's a hybrid, yeah. There's
Okay.
modular home builders and there's stick builders. I take what makes sense from the factory to try to reach affordable green is what we really are. And affordable
I'm
green.
sorry, to reach what, please?
Affordable green, to try to maximize. I take a project, if someone comes to me with a set of plans, we look at it and we try to do it in the most minimally invasive, smallest footprint way possible. And that's affordable green. It's not, this is not, like, there's yuppie green that I call my term, geothermal. My clients don't have $25,000 to put
You mean you're not
EVs
gonna
on the
call this
roof.
old
I would
home?
love for them to do that, but it's like, they're already gonna build this house. Well, let's take, 150 trips of pickup trucks going back and forth out of the equation, and maybe build those sections in the factory where they ride their bike or take public transit, and there's 15% less waste.
Where's your manufacturing take place?
I have like several different factories I work with. I was working with Kaiser in Maine, but right now it's Pennsylvania. And mostly because it's a little extra freight from there, but they're set up, these factories are set up where it's a big, long building with railroad, proximity to towns where they ride their bikes or take their horses or bring their lunch to work. And the materials all come and open up in the back door, and it's an assembly line process. So instead of windows going on a truck, off a truck, on a train, off the train, on a truck, to the lumberyard, back on the truck, to the job site, and guys carrying them up ladders to put them in, it comes off the train and just goes.
On the crane-
Someday I would invite you to come and look at my home, which is a modular, built in Quebec, Canada.
Okay, yeah, probably months and,
No, it's, I forget the name of the company, but it was built up, since the change in the Canadian money,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense for people like you to.
Freight.
Yeah.
Well, mine are totally custom. I'm not buying homes, I'm buying modules, I'm buying parts. So I do the engineering, my background's
That's what they
engineering.
describe as a modular.
Yeah, it's mods, and all they're building is mods, and I'm telling them exactly where to put the plumbing and piping and to realize efficiencies in that way. And this particular house on Lot 7 that we built, there was a vaulted ceiling that was stick-built, but the dormer came on a trailer. So we laid in the rafters real quick, sheathed it, picked the dormer up, dropped it on, spray foamed it. And so that's, and I don't have the answer to the question is what, every job is really value engineered, goes through a value engineering process, and halfway through, we realize, oh, we have an extra trailer. Well, that's $5,000-6,000 of freight. I have to weigh that against taking local stock and delivering it. So it's a dance.
I believe what you're doing is the future of building. We'll
Trying
see.
to do it there's so much green stuff out there that just gets elevated, and my idea is just to be simple and just look from above and try to touch it once, minimally invasive. I'm always telling even my local guys, touch it once. It's like playing a game of golf, right?
Hopefully you only touch it once.
Yeah, doesn't always happen.
Not me.
Having said that, we did, and this is only a matter of interest for you, but we've done several homes like this built in Ontario. And because of the Canadian dollar, and it did meet the Massachusetts building code, because of the Canadian dollar, they were built probably less than half the cost per square foot and shipped down from Ontario, and they were lived in 20 days.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
So
My problem was my wife got to the plans.
Oh, well, that's the thing you don't want.
Yeah.
At any rate, I think we're going further afield. We're probably looking now, move to close the public hearing.
Nope, there is no public hearing,
There is no
sorry.
public
Okay.
hearing.
Yep.
Move to
We're getting
make the following findings. 1, Lot 6B and 7B are not buildable lots. 2, Lot 7A remains subject to a planning board agreement and covenant. 3, such modification adding to, taking away from, or changing the size and shape of lots in such manner does not leave any lot so affected without the required frontage. 4, said plan does not constitute a subdivision as the way shown on a plan, therefore approved and endorsed in accordance with the subdivision control law, namely Littlefield Pond Road, and said way provides safe and adequate access.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
We're all in favor. That would be 4 votes in favor.
'Cause
Mary
I can't
cannot,
vote. I'm
Mary
an
cannot
alternate.
vote on this. And that's the minimum required. Congratulations.
Thank you
You
very
need a
much.
vote.
It's a unanimous vote.
You need one more vote. Motion to endorse the A&R plan entitled Plan of Land prepared by Hybrid Built Homes LLC by Daniel A. O'Hallow PLS, dated August 1st, 2017, and last revised August 3rd, 2017.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Mr. McFarland and Mr. Harris. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous again. When are you going to start?
With it's already there, the house.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, he didn't, the owner did not want all the land, he didn't want to maintain it.
So what we really did is subdivide out the lots.
So it was,
Right.
yeah,
What's that?
We subdivided out the lots.
We just altered this, it was a
Yeah.
weird lot.
Yeah.
See the shape of it, had that big structure going on back.
yeah. There was an original subdivision approved by the planning board, and now they're just changing
Altered.
the lines. Mr. Chairman, would you like to sign the maps now or after?
We can circulate them right around now.
Okay.
Nobody
We
wants
don't
to
have
wait.
a hell of a lot else in the,
Huh?
don't have a hell of a lot else on the agenda.
Have a special pen.
Minutes, ooh, we've got minutes to approve.
Up here.
You fill in the date, won't you?
I will, yes.
Shucks.
Is blue okay or black?
Do black, just in
Any,
Is it black?
Yep.
So jealous.
next time.
You want me to date it?
Yeah, that would be great. Not, I will.
the 22nd?
Yep.
Got it? Mary, next time around, you get to sign.
It's very exciting.
You went from no boards to 3 boards. I love it.
Pretty much, Joe.
They do that. Is yours black, the pen? Do you mind using black, just so we can be consistent? Can we use black?
Sure.
Something consistent.
Somebody let me borrow.
I don't have one either. Thank you so
Got a
much.
black pen over there.
Yeah, she says she wants black.
We're getting it.
Mine's
Oh,
blue.
you said-
After Lawrence, he signed. Scotty put it, he stole mine.
Thank you.
Yep.
Kind of neat, we save staples now? I mean,
I saw that.
paper clips?
I know.
Saw that, huh?
Kinda neat.
Aren't they great? We have a new copier. Thank you.
Is yours down?
That's his, I think.
Okay, that's all done.
All I really need is the Mylar. Okay. I think those are just for you guys. All right, thank you so much.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Sorry to keep you so long.
All right.
I like your new environmental paper.
I know, aren't they great? So great.
Okay, the next item on the agenda,
That's true, that's true.
we've got the minutes for July 11th and July 25th. Everybody, I'm sure, has read every word of the minutes.
Move to adopt the minutes of July 11, 2017, and July 25th.
Second.
It's been moved
17.
by Mr. McFarland, seconded by Mr. Peterson.
I had read them even though I was absent.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved unanimously, again. That's that, okay. Citizens' advisory opinions for the Board of Appeal. Everybody's been over those carefully. Is there any concerns that we might have? Probably all the campgrounds, I'm sure.
No.
Somebody got us on, I thought I had them,
Yeah, right there.
Here, do you need a copy?
Thank you.
Mr. Kroll, Mr. Ford, Mr. Singer. What's left to lose? Oh, they finished that one.
They're still deciding it.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's going to end up here, I think, from reading some of the stuff. Deleuze, yeah, that's off his property up that side road.
No comments.
comments
Are there
here.
any questions?
I have none.
No, we don't have to vote on that. And planning board public hearing date change from October 24th to October 26th because
Yep, I sent
we
it.
can't meet on
Election day.
an election night.
Yep.
So we'll move it to a Thursday night. And everybody can put that on their calendars so you can. Instead of
I
doing
I'm
all
not,
that-
because Ally's gonna send it to me on my computer.
I will. I have already, but I'll remind you again. The
Yeah,
other
that's
thing
good.
I just wanted to bring up along those same lines is that the Board of Health asked us today if we could switch rooms for our September 12th meeting. It's not a public hearing, it's just a meeting, to the small hearing room because they have a large meeting and they would like to use this room. So I said it was fine on behalf of the planning board. I hope you all agree. I didn't.
We've agreed. I know we'll be meeting in the parking lot if it's,
I know. No, I didn't get anything.
now it's
but
up to you to make sure you don't put anything that's controversial on
No, I won't.
the agenda.
I'll try not to.
Is there any old business to bring before the board? Mr. McFarland?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to have the minutes reflect some good things about a recent resignation that we had from Mr. DeBaca. Mr. DeBaca and I sat side by side here for a lot of years, and he was a great contributor to this board. I understand why he's making the change that he had to make, because he had a conflict, and he's, what many folks probably don't realize, Peter has taken up the saxophone.
He's
Now-
always played it.
Well, he's taken up the saxophone that his father played in Holland till his father died at 99 years of age about 3 or 4 months ago. And he just decided to do that, and I wish him well. And we're fortunate to have had his service before this board.
I believe Peter was somewhat in excess of 10 years on the board. And ironically, he was put on the board the first time that I was on the board. So he took my place. Now, the wheel turns, but, Peter has done a good job, and he's worked on a lot of subcommittees, so perhaps you might draft a letter to that effect, and we could all sign it. I think that would be a good idea. He
Yep.
likely gets one from the Board of Selectmen, but I think we could write him a letter, too.
Yep, I'll put that on the next
Expressing
agenda.
appreciation
Yeah,
and so forth and so on.
Excellent, excellent.
that's a great
Um,
idea.
And are there any briefings and reports from the board? As a matter of interest, if anybody doesn't know, Mary was appointed last night to move up from an alternate member to a full member. And Mary will be sworn in whenever she gets the letter from the Board of Selectmen, and I would suspect likely at the next meeting, you get to occupy that seat again.
I would hope so.
And that leaves 2 alternate member positions, and ultimately, when Tom's position is finalized, then there'll be there'll be another member on the planning board.
Another full-time?
Another full member and 2 alternate members, so the board will increase again. But until that time, we'll we'll move on.
Mary, don't put this in the minutes. I'm just laughing, Mr. Chairman. We apparently weren't running within the rules, but we did pretty well. I mean, we managed always to have an appropriate number of people to be able to vote and so forth. Now we're running within the rules, and we're struggling to make sure that we have enough people here, so,
So
crazy.
that's the way volunteer boards work, and
Sure.
virtually the same should be said for Linda. I don't know that we brought it up at the last meeting because it was a little quick, but, I'd like to thank Linda for her year on the board, and hopefully she'll be appointed back to the board, but that's not my decision to make. I'd like to see her back, and perhaps you could draft a letter thanking her too, Ally. That would be good. I think she did a great job, and she was always well-prepared, and always contributed. So, having said that, I don't have any more briefings. I guess.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion, it's been moved, and it's been moved by Mr. McFarland and seconded by Mr. Peterson. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Meeting is adjourned.
Two nights in a row.
Close. No, it's not close. 28 minutes to the record.
It's two nights in a row.